Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we are going to walk around sort of the downtown area and also take you down to the beach and the boardwalk area of Myrtle Beach, because today is the day that either if you want to call it hurricane, it's a hurricane right now, Idalia, or if you want to call it a tropical storm, which is what they're saying it will be by the time it gets here to Myrtle Beach. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new here, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We are so glad to have you. So we thought you might find it interesting to see what it looks like. The storm in full, I mean, there's some really interesting sky there, is not supposed to get to us until this evening. We are already getting some rain, so you're occasionally going to see my umbrella because I have to keep the rain off the camera lens. But you are going to occasionally see that umbrella pop in. We're getting a few bands of rain on the very outskirts of the storm. That's how big it is because it's in Florida right now, but that's how big the storm is. Some really wild shapes to the clouds. The wind is not here yet, as you can see, and the torrential rain is not here yet. We had one really big downpour this morning, but the rain has let up for now, so that's why we came out to give you a walkthrough and show you what it looks like. Thought you might find it interesting to see how few people are here. Don't get me wrong, there's people here, but it's not as many as you would expect. A lot of preparations have not taken place yet, so you're not going to see a lot of prep. And this is not supposed to have high winds, so this is not the kind where you're going to see people boarding up businesses and things like that. The big danger for this storm is storm surge and flooding. Those are the main issues with this storm. It's gonna, for Myrtle Beach, I should say that for Myrtle Beach specifically, obviously the wind is horrible in Florida, and our hearts go out to those in Florida. I have a lot of friends in Florida, so we're thinking about them and wishing them the best, and hoping they come out of this just fine. But I know there's going to be a lot of devastation from this in Florida, which is sad. But here in Myrtle Beach, the main issue, like I said, is going to be the rain. They're predicting 4 to 8 inches of rain, and they're also saying there's going to be a king tide during the hurricane. And Brian just said it seems like there's always a king tide. Anytime there's some bad weather, it just seems like they always go hand in hand. Terrible, if you want to call it luck or whatever. There's Ripley's, believe it or not, there. We're coming up to Peach's Corner. And by the way, if you see these people in the yellow outfits right there, those are Myrtle Beach ambassadors. And they can answer a lot of questions for you. They also obviously help with picking up, trash and stuff and that kind of thing. So they can be really helpful. So if you see one of them, definitely ask them questions if you need help with anything. So here's what Ocean Boulevard looks like. Stay up here on the sidewalk so I don't get hit by a car. But that's looking down towards the Skywheel. So you see it's pretty deserted. We're getting up to midday right now. So it's pretty quiet. We are getting slightly into the off season, but not majorly yet. It still stays really busy this time of the year, really well into October. So time to cross, Brian just informed me. So you definitely will see a lot of people. Like, we just drove down Ocean Boulevard a couple of days ago and there were no vacancy signs everywhere. So still quite busy time of the year, but not today. Not today. I would definitely go home if I was here. Why stay? It's not like you're going to have great weather. Unless you just want to weather it out, I guess, since there's not any super high wind. But
great hotel room.
What's that?
You have a great hotel room.
Yeah, Brian said a great hotel room. But also, though, there's always a risk of tornadoes with hurricanes. So just because there's no hurricane force wind doesn't mean there won't be any destruction. So that's another risk of staying. I would go home. I would definitely go home if I didn't live here. And if you're new to our channel, we do live here. And we've done what prep we can, what we need to. There's not much you can do about flooding. We do have some, they're not sandbags, they're actually something a little more modern than that. So yeah, this is a pretty sparsely populated, really dead. Let's actually take a short stroll down the boardwalk and then we'll go down and look at the surf. There are riptide warnings right now, which you would expect. And I don't think this is really, and to see all the businesses with their doors closed is unusual too. Usually the doors are open, so that's pretty interesting. Hey, they took if you've been watching our videos, they had a little caution tape around these guys, And it was there for quite a while, and some of you asked me about it. I didn't know why they were roped off, but they're not anymore, which is great. But yeah, this is a strange look. Can't tell if the arcade's open. It looks open, all the lights are on, but no one's in there. I don't know, can't tell if it's open. I would think it probably is. This Paradise General Store is open, they've got their doors open. Not a lot of business though for anyone today, for sure. So yeah, pretty quiet up here on the boardwalk. Got these fun guys. Let's go down on the beach. And there's one person, but he looks like an employee. Still, we're the only people out here. Right now the weather's not that bad. The problem is with these bands of rain, you never know when you're going to get caught in rain. So I think that's why most people are not out and about. Like when we left our house to come here and film, it was raining, and then it stopped while we were on the way here. So it's just coming in waves. So are you personally affected by this hurricane / tropical storm? Leave it in the comments below and let us know. If you are, we're thinking about you. And by the way, thank you so much, all the people that have sent us nice messages and said they're thinking about us and praying for us. We really appreciate that. It's so kind, so nice of you all. Really do appreciate that. And I know people love to see during a storm. I'm not a daredevil. I'm going to stay safely in my home during the main part of the storm. It's like I mentioned, wow, look at this wide open beach. Yeah, wow. You don't see this much, not very often. And they don't even have lifeguards set up today, probably because the beach is not even open for swimming, because the rip tide warnings are really severe right now, which is, you know, pretty obvious. So actually the surf, you know, considering, doesn't look that bad, but this hurricane is coming from inland rather than coming straight in from the ocean. If this was coming, like last year I filmed right before Ian hit, and the surf was incredibly rough. So this is definitely a different looking pre-hurricane, pre-tropical storm. But like I said, it's coming from inland, coming from the west instead of coming from the east. So that's pretty interesting. I wish I had smell-o-vision. It smells so good. If it wasn't for the chance of getting drenched, this is actually a great time for a walk on the beach. It is lovely to have it to yourself a little bit. It's kind of nice. A few people down here around the pier. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. It helps people find our videos, which in turn helps us. So yeah, there's looking back over at the boardwalk. Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen this area this quiet since 2020 when they closed the beaches. That was a strange time. If you want to look at that, we've got videos of that. I mean, I was able to stand right in the middle of Ocean Boulevard and take a photo because there were no cars. It was just bizarre. But anyway, this is similar as far as the amount of people, except we are still allowed to walk on the beach. Then you couldn't even walk on the beach. All the public beach accesses were closed. It's the only time I'm aware of that happening, too. Rain is starting to pick up a little bit. I know you can't see it probably on the film, but I can feel it hitting my back. It's starting to rain just a little bit. So I hope everyone stays safe. Take care of yourselves if you're in the path. And we probably won't put another video out right away, but we will probably post on our YouTube channel. There's a community tab if you're not familiar with that. We'll post on there and let you know if we had any issues or not. So you can check there if you're curious about updates. And if you don't already, you can follow us on Instagram. I also post updates there sometimes. So you can definitely follow us there as well, especially if you want to see more frequent videos. We post a lot of videos in our Insta stories. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click on the video on your screen right now and click subscribe so you won't miss anything new. Thanks so much for watching. Until our next adventure.